we're up and running. We're on the crest of the wave, and we're on a crazy roll, man. It's getting nuts.
Yeah, so tell us about this, Hulk, because if people are thinking, "Hey, this is professional wrestling, this is WWE," no, this is not. This is freestyle wrestling or amateur wrestling, but on a professional level, Hulk.
Yeah,
Tell us about what you got going on here with you and your buddy Eric Bischoff.
yeah. Well, it all started out with the beer. The real American beer, just like the Hulk Hogan name. The Hulk Hogan's got over 1,000 licenses out there for products. We started out with real American beer. It was an open lane. One of the huge companies messed up their marketing plan. So I saw this open lane for a light beer that could bring America back together. So we started out with that new brand, real American beer. And all of a sudden, we're looking for all these opportunities. And Eric Bischoff, myself, my partner, Chad Bronstein, we're always looking for that wild, wild west deal. And all of a sudden, we're talking about TV and the industry and stuff. And I'm noticing the reality TV and the scripted stuff isn't popping and cracking like it used to be, but live sports is really taking over. The new volleyball league, Shaun White, the snowboard league, Left Lane was backing those guys. Now they're behind us. And all of a sudden, you know, since wrestling at its core is what I'm all about, I've been in the ring with some really crazy wrestlers. Like I got Brock Lesnar right after he left the UFC. I got him
Oh,
first. I got Kurt Angle when his eyeballs used to roll back like a shark and he'd come after me. Benjamin Shelton, all these different guys that I've had the opportunity to see adapt to our business. I said, something, there's something there with these amateur guys because they don't get to continue their career. They either go to UFC and they do the striking or they get a normal job like a mailman or electrician. And I said, with my partner, I said, let me call Eric because there's something here. And Chad and Eric and Eric put our heads together and we said, these guys don't have a chance to continue their professional career. But since we can pay them now, it's real American professional because they're getting paid
yep.
freestyle wrestling. And all of a sudden, man, we grabbed Izzy Martinez, and he's the coach of all coaches. He's coached some of the Olympic athletes, NCAA champions. We've got such a crazy team together. And we put out a couple little teasers to kind of let people know what we're doing. This thing's taken off like crazy. It's part of the real American beer brand, which is rolled into wrestling. And now we're up to no good. We're going to do all kind of stuff.
That's incredible, Hulk. And obviously, you look at MMA and what the UFC has done. I mean, absolutely massive. It's crazy how the sport has grown. And you're right. There's nothing that exists for wrestling. How big can this be?
Well, we've even got a crazy female division that's going to grow and grow and grow. But when you talk about how big it can be, I've seen what's happened with the UFC even before Dana White got it.
Yeah.
Vince McMahon and I, about, good God, 35, 40 years ago, took a look at it. I can't even remember how long ago it was. And we had no idea it was going to turn into what it was. But when you ask how big can it be, because of the reaction with the freestyle wrestling and the amateur wrestling and the Olympics, when I think about the UFC and the WWE, we're not competitive at all with these guys, but we have a chance to be just as big as them. So that's what I'm looking for because everybody loves the wrestling, the freestyle wrestling. You don't get stuck on the mat. You got to get back up. And what we're going to do is kind of like shoot these packages so that you care about the athletes, kind of like The Voice. Where if you're a wrestling brother, we're going to find out why you started. We had no idea you came from a broken home. We had no idea that your brother committed suicide. We had no idea that you're an honor student in college. All the backstory. So by the time these wrestlers can come out, you're going to actually be vested in these athletes, and it's just really going to ramp up because I thought maybe these amateur wrestlers were kind of dull, but I was wrong. I've been hanging out with them. They have all got that Conor McGregor swagger. They've been watching TV. They've been watching the wrestling. They know how to run their mouths. They know what branding's all about. So not only the wrestling career that we can pay up to 7 digits at the end of the day, also their licensing, their merchandise. We're getting ready to roll, brother.
That's incredible, Hulk. And I remember watching this and how much attention it got. Obviously, you've got a relationship with President Trump, and he was at the NCAA championships. That got a ton of attention. Did that factor into this at all, Hulk, or had this already been in the works? And hey, that's just another cool thing for the sport of wrestling.
Well, it definitely factored in, but we were way ahead of the game. We had already started this months and months before. But to see our president step up and be involved, I said, I think I know who's going to be at our August 30th event in Cleveland. I'm going to make a special phone call.
That sounds
I might
amazing.
know somebody. I might know somebody.
Yeah, I'd say so. The guy himself, the big
There
man
you go,
himself.
man.